Hi everyone, welcome. Here is Filippo Manuzzi, Global Technical Director for Insight Professional, and we are here in our internal academy in Bologna for you. For this fantastic Café Talk, which is an online event that we're gonna do every month, okay? So the next one will be the 11th of March, so write it down. And as always, we will spend some time together to treat an important topic about Insight World. Today is very important, this Café Talk, because we will talk about Incolor Hydra-Color, which is obviously a protagonist of the Insight business in the world. So, just to recap the Café Talk rules, we're gonna spend some time sharing the information about Hydra-Color, and in the end, you will have some time to write down in the chat, in the YouTube chat, your question and doubt. And myself and Insight team here with me, we're gonna answer to your question and doubt. I remember that all the Café Talk will stay on in our YouTube official channel. So, for example, yourself or some colleague, you can always see the Café Talk on our YouTube channel. Okay? Very good. So let's start talking about Incolor Hydra-Color. First of all, as we always share in our courses, it's fundamental to share that Hydra-Color is at the moment used and sold in more than 40 countries in the world, especially countries like South America, Middle East, Malaysia, where the hair structure it's really more difficult to treat. Lifting melanin, deposit on empty hair, on gray hair. So that's an important feedback to share with our client, okay? So keep yourself ready. Let's start talk about this fantastic phyto-coloring system. First of all, in our courses, we present Hydra-Color as a real beauty treatment for your hair and scalp. And now I'm gonna explain you why we declare this. First of all, we are talking again about a phyto-coloring system. What phyto means? Phyto means plants. So as always, our laboratory search and develop the specific natural raw material to get the best performances. It is a vegan OK certified method, okay, so that's very important, like for all the Insight range. If you want to know more about vegan OK, you can just Google it and discover all the aspects of this important certification, which regard not only Hydra-Color but all the Insight products. Now, before to discover the formula, it's fundamental to share, as always, the 5 points of strength about Hydra-Color and about Insight. The most important is what? Safeness. When we develop a product, especially a technical product like Hydra-Color, in all the country, all the type of scalp and hair must to be safe on all. That's the most important point. Pureness is connected to safeness because it guarantees that the formula will be delicate, will be perfect on everyone. And now, and more, high percentage of ingredient natural derived. That's very important. For example, in Hydra-Color, more than the 90% of the ingredient is natural derived. That's important for us. And what more? Now we reach maybe the most important point, which is effectiveness. That's important because if I'm not able to lift a dark hair color like in Panama, or I'm not able to cover gray hair in Malaysia, that's obviously fundamental. So Hydra-Color must be the best in all its performances. And then sustainability. Obviously, sustainability is from always in our insight history, but especially during the last year, it is a very important point for us in all the aspects, in the company, but even inside your salon. Okay, now we can talk about the formula. So in the courses, we present Hydra-Color as a beauty treatment for hair and scalp. So why? Let's share why and how. First of all, inside the Hydra-Color tube, we have a technology called Hydra-Color blend. What does this technology does? Very simple. One, it controls the level of the pH of the formula on the scalp, on the client's scalp, during the processing time, to avoid that maybe in some client to have some unwanted sensation effects. And second, on the hair, Hydra-Color blend check to maintain the hydration on the hair, to maintain the water on the hair. Because when we use a permanent coloring system, it is a physical and chemical action on the hair fiber. So we want, thanks to Hydra-Color blend, to maintain the hydration, the water inside the cortex. So that's the first answer to the beauty treatment for hair and scalp. And now, before to talk about the organic ingredient, I want to share with you something special.
Hi, my name's Lorraine Martich, Insight Professional UK Education Manager. Why I love Incolor Hydra-Color is that it mirrors not only my professional work, but all my private lifestyle as well as. The reason being is that it's organic, vegan, sustainable. It is a future-proof brand, and it also delivers and performs. The key ingredients inside the colour, it contains phytokeratin, which will help to reconstruct and strengthen the hair. It contains a organic argan oil that helps to replace the natural fatty acids and replenish the hair's elasticity and protect. It also contains grapeseed butter, which cares for the hair as well as the scalp. This allows the colour to perform with guaranteed results, with great condition and shine.
Thank you very much, Lorraine, our technical director for Insight UK. So that's important because, as Lorraine said, our laboratory selected and developed some specific raw material. Why? To guarantee protection and nourishment on hair and scalp. So, as Lorraine said, we have vegetal phytokeratin and organic argan oil, which are specifically more for nourishment and protection. It's important to share with our client, for example, when we talk about argan, we can ask, which argan? How much argan? That's important because it makes the difference to a professional organic vegan coloring system to the supermarket color, like the box color, that can contain argan too. So that's important about the quality of our communication with the clients. Okay? And then, plus vegetal phytokeratin and organic argan oil, we have grapeseed butter, which is more for an antioxidant effect during the processing of the color. Fantastic. Now, after sharing the formula, so Hydra-Color blend and the 3 organic extracts, we can pass to see the detail of the coloring system. We have a color cream, 100 ml tube and 60 ml for the correctors. And the mixing ratio, so pay attention guys, mixing ratio is 1 part of color and 1.5 of the nourishing activator. Example, 50 grams of color plus 75 grams nourishing activator. A part the super lightener, because super lightener it is 1 plus 2, so 1 part of the super lightener plus 2 part of 40 volt activator, which is in UK 12%. So let's talk about the other protagonist of the beauty treatment in Hydra-Color, which is the nourishing activator. Why is called nourishing activator? Because it is not only peroxide, it contains rice protein. So it acts with Hydra-Color color tube to really treat hair and scalp during the processing time. The selection of the nourishing activator, it's very important. Question to you guys. When we use Hydra-Color, how can I select which is the more specific nourishing activator on that client? Obviously, depending on the power of lift, only on natural color, natural hair, obviously. So we select the activator depending on the action in lifting melanin from the natural hair. So let's share the detail that you can find even inside our technical manual called the Insight method. So ask to the UK team, or anyway, any country, ask to your distributor about the technical manual called the Insight method. Okay, so let's start with 6 volt. 6 volt, it is the lower activator, and it is only for the color deposit, like toning, for example, after a baby light, after balayage. Okay, 10 volt, we start to lift half tone of the melanin, so we start to have a little lifting in the natural hair. And then 20 volt, it's specific to lift up to 1 tone, 30 volt up to 2 tone, and 40 volt up to 2.5, 3 tones. That's very important because, again, we have to analyze the difference between the natural hair of the client and the color desire. Fantastic. Connected to the nourishing activator selection, we have the time, because more that we have to lift melanin outside, and more the Hydra-Color blend needs time. So let's share some indicative guide in timing. So 6 volt, 35 minutes, which is the Hydra-Color standard time. So we have to always to start to 35 minutes time. 10 volt, 30 minutes again. Then 20 volt, we have a range in between 35 and 40 minutes, depending, for example, analyzing the hair structure. If it's a strong, thick hair structure, maybe the color mixture needs 5 minutes more. Okay? And let's continuing about 30 volt. We have a range in between 40 and 45 minutes. So you see, we are improving the processing time. And in the end, talking about 40 volt, which is 12%, this is the larger time, between 45 and 60 minutes. Now let's even talk about the heat, some color help for the treatment. You know that in general, in Insight, we do not suggest heat during the technical services. But, for example, if inside my hair salon, the air conditioning is crazy, for example, maybe is too cold for the color procedure. So in this case, it's better to use some heat. Or for example, during the winter in my salon, again, it is too cold, maybe it's not good to get the best performance with Hydra-Color and with all the Insight technical treatment. So again, in this case, we have to use the brain so we can maybe create the right temperature to permit to Hydra-Color to act in the best manner. Okay? I remember you guys that now we're gonna share together the color chart, okay? And then keep yourself prepared. So on the YouTube chat, you can write down if you have some question and doubt. So in the end, after a fantastic video, we can, me and my team, we can answer to you if you have question and doubt. Fantastic. So let's pass to treat the fantastic Hydra-Color color chart. Okay, it is a nice concept, especially for the salon and colorist who love to use armochromy, for example. So to analyze the temperature of color, especially to create a nice balance in between the skin color, the height of the client, etc. So that's very helpful and fun. Okay, so it's divided in 5 modules. Okay, let's start to share step by step, so I can even present the huge Hydra-Color range selection. Fantastic. Okay, so let's start obviously with the natural and natural intense. The first model I show to you. So on the left, you have the natural selection, 0, and on the right, you have the natural intense selection. Okay? Fantastic. So that's maybe the most important part of this Café Talk, because these ranges are used especially when we have to color gray hair. Okay? So the natural series 0, it is more specific when we want to get a very soft natural camouflage. Okay, so we wanted in inside to create this really soft effect. Obviously, for example, talking about gray hair, it is more suggested if you have an easy situation, like small percentage of gray or fine porous hair. Or my client and the colorist taste in color is something really soft, something really camouflage. So 0 series is the best option. Instead, if we have high percentage of gray, thick, strong hair structure, difficult to color, in this case, it is better to use 00 natural intense. Okay? So that's very important. In the first module, we have even a nice, very helpful table. We have some tips specific in gray hair situation. Okay? So I remind you, you have the color chart guide, you have the technical manual, the insight method, and plus you can always contact your distributor and our team in your country to receive the specific tips and suggestions. Okay, let's pass to the module 2, which is brown and dark blonde. Okay, this is very interesting because again, here you have on the first page, you have the cool selection, and on the right page, you have the warm selection. So that's very helpful because, for example, when my client showed to me her desire, I see the color target and I go to my laboratory to select the right nuances to obtain in that hair this result, right? I remember you to never show the color chart to the client, please, okay? The color chart is only for you. So we just share the brown selection and dark blonde, cool and warm. Same situation for the light blonde and rosé. Okay? Again, we have cool selection, which is more, obviously, and we have the warm selection. Why we have more cool selection? Because obviously you know better than me that our clients usually tends to prefer cool shades, and plus the hair with the melanin always tend to go warm. So that's important to have a nice selection of cool tones. And then we pass to red, copper, and purple. Same division between cool and warm tones. Fantastic. Okay. And what more? We can share the last module, which is different. In the last module, we have all the colors which have a different how to use to the standard nuances. Okay? We have correctors, toner, and super bleaching. Let's share first the first page. On top, you can see the correctors, and below the correctors, you have the toners. So let me just describe it to you. Starting with the correctors. The correctors is very, very useful. Many colorists doesn't use it, but that's a perfect tool if I want to be in a higher level in my area where I live, where I work. So we can use the corrector to contrast an unwanted reflection. For example, I have a client with a copper, she is tired, bored about the copper, she wants to go back natural. So I can add to my Hydra-Color mixture a percentage of blue to contrast the residue of copper. Vice versa, she's a copper but she wants to improve the intensity of her copper, I can add some copper corrector to the mixture, right? Second how to use it, another how to use, is we can use it even pure. Why not? Last year in Mexico, we had a fantastic gray hair coverage, 100% gray hair coverage. We create a fantastic red-purple using the red and purple corrector 20 volume, 6%. Amazing. So play with the corrector, guys, because that's a fantastic tool to improve your salon quality. Toners. Very simple. The toners has no label. It is a pure pigment to customize any blonde situation. So we can use it alone, we can use it mixed together, or we can mix it to any blonde in the chart to create something really customized using your fantasy. You have a table again here with the suggestion about correctors, toner, and super lightener. And just to finish, guys, so keep yourself ready for your question. In the last page, we have the 3 super lighteners, neutral, gold, and pearl. I remember you, 1 + 2 with 40 volt, 12%, 60 minutes. And we have a fantastic protagonist in Hydra-Color. I can say that this dear friend called 0.0 is for sure one of our best tools. What is that? So Hydra-Color, it is a low ammonia content. How much ammonia? 2.5% in the darker color, up to 4.5% in the super lightener and 0.0. So when we have to lift 3 tones in dark, thick hair, especially if we want to obtain something cool, we can add the 0.0 booster to the formula from 5 to 20% to improve the power in lifting natural melanin. Obviously, always with 40 volt, 12%, using the right time. Last how to use, about 0.0, we can use it pure on colored hair to lift 1.5 up to 2 tones on colored hair. But pay attention, do not apply 0.0 alone on the client's scalp. Okay, so pure can be used only in the length using foils. To lift, again, up 1.5 up to 2 tones on colored. So fantastic. Think about it. During, for example, my regrow, the time of the regrow, I can do a nice proposal to my client to have a nice game, tone on tone. Maybe now the spring is coming, so wow. Customizing with maybe some corrector with the blonde booster to do some light tone on tone. Amazing. So thank you for your time and see you in the next Café Talk. Bye.